Assalamu alaikum and good greetings. So today we'll be watching a video titled Message to Muslims. This is by Jordan Peterson. This is due to a request by one of you. Not sure why you request me to watch this or what is the content of this. I guess we will see. So without further ado, let's watch.
Hi all. I have been informed by many sources and also observed online, not least because of my discussions with a variety of Muslim thinkers, supporters and critics, that I have developed an audience in the Muslim world. I would first like to say that I could not be more pleased or honored that such is the case. It has been so heartening to see that my biblical lectures, for example, attracted a large Muslim audience, and that the comments from the Muslim watchers and listeners to my YouTube channel and podcast have been so extraordinarily positive. And all this is lovely to see in the aftermath of the extraordinary Abraham Accords, which have laid out the possibility for peace between all the people of the book.
What's that? What's Abraham Accord? Because he claimed that it can make peace or it can create peace between all of the Abrahamic religion
In an unprecedented manner. And I have something to say as an extension of all of this. Please forgive my presumption, if you would.
So what is his presumption? Because he asked for forgiveness for that, as a disclaimer, right? So will he be saying something based on a certain presumption?
It is time for those of you in the Muslim world to stop fighting among yourselves, you Shiites and Sunnis, and also time to stop regarding the Christians, and even more specifically, the Jews, as your enemies.
Okay, is he talking to a specific group of people among Muslim that perhaps have commented on his page with a certain idea? Or is he talking about the government of certain countries? Or is he talking about the people? Because there are some points about assuming that we are, the normal people, the normal Muslim are fighting against each other, and then we consider Christians and Jews as enemy. This is based on what? Is it based on his interaction with a certain group of Muslim, or based on his presumption based on what he saw in the media or something? That's quite interesting. I'm not denying there are some Muslim that are seeing, for example, the Jews as enemy by default, but those are, I'm not saying it is insignificant, but there are vast minority, right? If you are talking about practicing Muslim based on the Quran, even furthermore. So I'm not sure what is the context behind this video.
Why? Not least because you have the enemy located in the wrong place. First, the best place to find Satan, let's say, is within, if you think the true enemy is in someone else's heart.
True enemy is in someone else's heart. True enemy is in someone else's heart. What does that mean? Because when he talk about Satan, about Shaitan, yes, based on Islamic teaching, Satan or Shaitan is the sworn enemy, right? Iblis is the sworn enemy, and that's we are being taught that from the very beginning, and we have to remember that, right? So Shaitan, Iblis want to drag us together to hell with him or with them, right? So yeah, we know that's our sworn enemy. Is he contradicting between realizing that Satan is the enemy with, am I is it only me that cannot see what's the connection?
Then you haven't thought nearly long enough about the darkness within, and you have therefore fallen prey to the most subtle temptation of the ancient demonic spirit. So your best bet on the spiritual warfare front is to make of yourself and your Muslim practice something so admirable that the light shining from your well-constituted psyches and productive, generous, and wise actions is so intense that people convert to your faith from sheer admiration. There's a goal. Second,
So is he saying that Muslims should act in a good manner so that others will join because of the admiration on that? Well, I would not counter that or disagree with that. Muslims should practice Islam properly. That would mean that we have to become the best of the best in the society, or the best version of us. And yeah, so I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm trying to put the things together still. I'm not sure what is the connection between what the first thing that he said and then the devil and then practicing.
far more unites you with the other people of the book, as your own prophet himself, peace be unto him, forthrightly said, than what divides you. You all believe, for example, in a book. You all believe, for example, in God, and believe that you have an ultimate duty to that God. You are all followers of a prophetic tradition. And that is a tradition that unites the wisdom of the past with the vision and voice of those willing to see and speak truly and lovingly in the present. And you are all threatened in a very real sense.
So the common ground is true, right? The common ground is true, and I guess that's why most dakwah effort is directed towards the Christian friends, right? Because in many ways we are closest to each other, and most people that join and embrace Islam comes from the Christian faith. Prior to that, I think this is worldwide. That tend to be the trend.
By the system of vengeful Luciferian ideas that currently confronts all that is transcendent, traditional, and valuable on the sexual front, on the familial front, on the conceptual front, on the psychological and sociological front, and, in the final analysis, on the theological front. So, how about we all quit squabbling over trinkets and details and face the real problem? And I should also point out that it is not the individual carriers of the woke, politically correct, degenerate, neo-Marxist ideas that should be regarded as the enemy either. First, we must take the idea that the satanic impulse within is the prime enemy with all due seriousness. Second, we must understand that even those quite possessed by the spirit of Cain that attracts and drives confused and lost people to the Luciferian ideologies of the materialist utopians are, in the ideal, fully redeemable and only partially consumed. Even the committed student ideologues who have, for example, attacked me and others like me rather viciously are generally, say, 90%, or perhaps 80%, reasonable and potentially civilized people who could still see the light.
I'm not sure what's the point there towards Muslim. Is it to see the potential in others? If that is the case, yeah, the Quran teaches us that. Case in point, for example, Abu Jahal, right? If you tadabbur Surah Al-Alaq.
Muslims, reach across the sectarian divide. Shiites, find a Sunni pen pal. Communicate with someone on the other side. Sunnis, do the same. And then, maybe, reach out, tentatively, to a Christian, or even, heaven forbid, a Jew.
Is he under the impression that we do not communicate and we are, restricting ourselves from communicating with, for example, for me, with Shia, with Christian, with Jews? Is he under the impression that that is the norm? I would acknowledge that there are lack of interaction, not necessarily due to, resisting or running away from it, but it's just, we normally is consumed by life. I think, whoever, normally human are like that, so we are not really restricted, but our interaction is limited to, but I think when people go online, etc., I haven't seen personally speaking, that Muslim actually restricting themselves from interacting with Christians, Jews, Shia. So it is interesting. I'm not sure whether he has certain group in mind when he says this.
Because perhaps it is time for those who purport to be followers of God to act like it, and to be convincing in those actions, even to those whose premature cynicism and skepticism have driven them into the towers of Babel, constructed by the avatars of the resentful intellect. Is there someone in the Muslim world willing to build an electronic system to bring people from the Sunni and Shiite community together? A place where people of goodwill could reach electronically across the divide, person to person, and to formulate the kinds of personal, trusting friendships upon which a lasting peace truly might be founded?
Wait, is this video recent? Because is he describing something like the internet where we can communicate, or am I missing something here?
A place where Jews and Christians, willing and eager to open communication with their Muslim brothers, might do just that? There's a task for someone looking for a purpose, and it's an open invitation to do just that. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, get in touch with me. You'll figure out how to do it, and I'll publicize it. Thank you.
Is he saying something like creating a forum where everyone from different faiths can have a conversation? Is that it? Is it non-existent? This is an honest question, because I've been on the internet for I don't know how many years, 15 years, 20 years, and I have always been under the impression that that is ongoing thing. Not everyone jump into it, not everyone is interested in it, perhaps not everyone, everyone is busy, as I mentioned. But I have been, 10 years ago, I have like almost daily conversation with a Jew. Of course, I'm talking about internet conversation with a bunch of Christians, some, of course, Muslim from the different countries. When I was in Japan, where we back then, we meet weekly with a Shia family. So I think people to people, we do not really have any issue. We may have issue with government to government, or ideology to ideology perhaps, but not really people to people.
All my Muslim listeners, watchers, and readers, for your kind attention and patience, I wish you well as you strive to become the light in the world that your faith truly demands. Let's see if we can unite as people of the book and negotiate our way toward the paradise that we might truly and jointly attain.
What does he mean by that? Jointly attain between... Is he... I'm not really familiar. This is the end, right? I'm not really familiar with his faith in particular. Does he believe that paradise will combine those who believe in different faiths? I don't know, because that last bit is interesting, because I'm not sure what he's belief in. Perhaps that's normal to him because that is what he believe in. But if he is a Christian, that is an interesting statement to make. I'm not sure if you are a Christian, what do you make of that statement? Because if any Muslim says that, okay, let's go, we will end up in heaven together, despite if you believe in this, and you reject the truth, etc. For example, right? I would jump and either correct him or ask him for clarification. What do you mean exactly, etc. Right? So I'm wondering whether what he said is representative of a Christian belief, or it's just him, or what. Anyway, so I have more questions than comment, I guess. So what do you think? Can you help me with whatever this is? Thank you for watching. See you next time.